In the news this week, controversial anti-extremist plans are revealed, a date is set for Asher's Baking Company's appeal hearing, and the House of Lords debates Sharia councils. Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The Counter-Extremism Strategy, which includes plans for controversial Extremism Disruption Orders, has been launched. On BBC Radio 4, presenter John Humphreys challenged Home Secretary Theresa May's claims that the plans would not harm freedom of expression.
Let me quote you what Jonathan Evans, Lord Evans, former head of the Security Service, MI5, wrote in The Telegraph recently. One can imagine the powers being used against harmless evangelical street preachers or the like out of misplaced zeal and a desire to demonstrate that they are not directed against one religion alone.
No, this is not what the strategy is about.
He's got it
and of
wrong.
course, it's assuming that there are two things here. First of all, we're not talking, as I said, about somebody who stands up and says something that other people might not agree with or might find objectionable.
In the wake of the launch of the strategy, legal commentator Joshua Rosenberg cautioned about the threat of problems. The potential for mischief is enormous. Of course, there must be limits to free speech, but the police and local authorities are not best placed to judge them. Sir Peter Fahey, the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police and a counter-terrorism expert, also raised the issue of freedom of expression. There is a concern that efforts to control extremist narratives will limit free speech and backfire if we don't get the balance right. Simon Calvert, Campaign Director of Defend Free Speech, urged the government to listen to their concerns.
Well, it's a relief that the counter-extremism document at least recognises that there are concerns about free speech. But, the government says it wants an extremism disruption order, which is very wide. And if they do that, it is going to trample on people's freedom of speech. So either they need to drop the idea altogether, or they need to work with us and all interested groups on drafting something which is very, very tightly focused. We'll have to wait and see whether they're willing to do that.
Senior judges in Northern Ireland will hear an appeal from Asher's Baking Company starting on the 3rd of February next year. The MacArthur family, who own and run Asher's, declined to decorate a pro-gay marriage campaign cake in 2014. They were sued by the taxpayer-funded Equality Commission, and in May this year, Judge Isabel Brownlee decided that Asher's had broken the law. But now the Court of Appeal will consider the Christian-run bakery's challenge to the ruling. The news follows an announcement that some MLAs are making a fifth attempt to redefine marriage in Northern Ireland. 4 similar attempts have been defeated by politicians at Stormont since 2012. You can show that you're standing with Asher's Baking Company by using the hashtag #SupportAshers on social media. The Prime Minister has claimed that there is a strong case for changing Sunday trading rules. David Cameron's comments come before the government has published its response to a recent consultation on the issue. Challenged in Parliament by Labour MP Susan Ellen Jones, David Cameron said the move would benefit families.
You've got these restrictions on opening hours for many stores. Someone shouted, what about families? Many stores that families would like to shop in. And you have to go to these stores and you have to walk around for hours before you're actually allowed to buy anything.
However, Conservative MP David Burrows said a rhythm of regular rest is vital for a healthy society. A shared day of rest has long been central to our life together as a nation and is valued by our many diverse communities. Ahead of the election, the Keep Sunday Special campaign received an assurance that the Conservatives had no current plans to relax the Sunday trading laws. Mr Burrows said he hoped the Prime Minister would keep to his pledge, but that until that happened, he and a growing number of other MPs would maintain the fight to keep Sunday special. And finally, a bill seeking to restrain the operation of Sharia councils in England and Wales has been debated in the House of Lords. While some Sharia councils in Britain operate within the law, there are concerns about others seeking to establish a parallel legal system, as well as possibly causing suffering experienced by women. The bill was introduced by Baroness Cox, who told peers her reasons for raising the issue.
The chasm between the de jure situation and the de facto reality is an abyss into which countless women are falling. I trust that, with the evidence which has been accumulated since the previous second reading, the government's response today will be more realistic and will welcome the modest provisions of this bill, which are strongly supported by Muslim women and organisations which represent them, as well as by those committed to the preservation of the fundamental principle of democracy, of one law for all.
The government has said it will commission a review into Sharia councils, and an initial report will be given to the Home Secretary in 2016. In its counter-extremism strategy, the government noted that some women are being pressured to attend reconciliation sessions with their abusive husbands, despite legal injunctions in place to protect them. The Equal and Free campaign is speaking up for women who have suffered under Sharia law. You can go to their website to find out more. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.